In this video, I'm going to talk about the Dragon at Nakoma Resort and give you a bonus resort review. A twofer. You heard the bug zapper. If this is your first time to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button so I can actually get paid. Hit the thumbs up button, and let's watch a little intro I crafted because I'm really a YouTuber. So the Nakoma Resort is located in the foothills near Graygle, California, in a town that I'm going to put up there right now. And I guess I should start with the resort because the resort feels more like a spa destination, family getaway destination, where golf is a focus of it, but it's not the main focus, yet it has an element of abandoned dunes. Within proximity to this golf course, you also have the highly acclaimed Grizzly Ranch, which I couldn't even figure out how to get on the property of. There was like a gate, and I couldn't figure out how to get through the gate. So if anybody knows how to do that, leave a comment. That would be appreciated. There's also White Hawk Ranch, which looked phenomenal. Tried to get a breakfast burrito there, and they weren't open when I went through there, but that looks like a ton of fun. And also Graygle Meadows, which kind of goes right into Graygle, the downtown Graygle area. And that looked really flat and looked really reasonable. And maybe if you're not the strongest golfer, that would be really good. Price points are phenomenal. If you're an NCGA member, you're looking at $70 for Graygle Meadows. After 1 o'clock, $110 for White Hawk Ranch. Grizzly Ranch, I think, runs you about $135, $140 at the time of this video with an NCGA membership. And the Dragon has a $135 price point, I believe, or somewhere around there. So they're all really, really reasonable compared to the golf industrial complex, which is just kind of a lot of money that you have to spend to play this great game we love so much, that we travel as far and wide just to hit fantastic golf shots and kind of exaggerate our skill set to our friends and stuff. It's really fun stuff. So really nice. And then on top of that, if you go on the weekday like I was able to this week, you can actually get a stay-in pay package that has unlimited golf. Now, it depends on how much golf you're going to play. I probably didn't max it out to the 10th degree. You get two unlimited golf for two people. It is tentatively a savings of about maybe like $200 or so for a single person if you take advantage of it. The more you play, the more value you will get out of that. As for the resort, pretty nice. I was actually kind of nervous that it wouldn't be nice because I'm like, oh man, someone would have told me about this living in Northern California. California is awesome because there's tons of parts of California that the longer you live here, the more you can just run into a small place in California that you'd never heard of or never been to, and you go, wow, this feels like Idaho or Nevada, but it's really still in the state of California. Resort's really nice. I'm going to show you the workout room right now. I'm going to show you the pool, the hot tub. What I like, not a lot of people, really mellow. The lodge I stayed at the resort, modern. Here's the hotel room. You can look at it, wave to it. There you go. There's a Pinehurst, Carolina hotel vibe to it for one reason. Chipping and putting green behind the property, so you can actually go out there and hit some sand shots, hit it into someone's hotel room. That would be really fun. Putt back there. That's a lot like the Carolina Hotel. That was a really awesome feature. I remember I featured that. I want to believe I featured that, but that was really, really fun when I went to the Carolina Hotel and got to experience that. And there's a vibe of this. And also the hotel sits out and overlooks one of my favorite holes on the course, which is called Looking Glass. I don't even know how I know that. But that's hole number 8, which is a beautiful par 3 that you, if you had a really nice full frame camera, like maybe I'm filming with, you could take a good photo of that and put it up in your office and lie to people and say you hit it to about 2 feet. Probably be a pretty cool move. But the resort itself really exceeded my expectations. Now we got to get into the weird stuff. And the weird stuff is kind of like, how did the origins of the property start? So I read a book that's kind of, I read a book that was in the hotel room. So shout out to me for reading, holding it down for my generation. And basically a wealthy couple kind of had a dream project to build this kind of ever evolving resort. And it seems like they're building a marketplace now. And it just seems like it's always going to be a project where there's more and more building. It doesn't seem like there's the need for a second golf course, though. If I were involved in this project, I'd probably make like a golf course that's probably like more quote unquote fun. And I mean, I don't think that would hurt, because one thing I noticed was people were coming down, resort guests, recreational players, and absolutely getting smoked by like a phenomenally hard golf course. And that goes into kind of like one of the themes of this course. But before I get into that theme, let's look at the Frank Lloyd Wright clubhouse, which is also super hard to figure out how to get into the first time you go there. So it's like you go to where the main building is, but it's like a IQ test kind of. So when you go there, you'll go, oh, it's not that hard. It's actually kind of difficult the first time you go to get in, then you work backwards from there. But very unique clubhouse design. Kind of gives me a vibe of Sea Ranch. When I went to Sea Ranch, how Sea Ranch was super, super funky. Very locals only vibes, and like long-time vacationers up there. You go in, some of the nicest people ever that you'll meet behind the counter. Really, really cool vibes. Go down to the golf course, and then you're literally looking at some of the hardest golf holes you've ever seen. The golf architect, Robin Nelson, this is his only U.S. mainland course. He focused a lot in Hawaii, and I believe that he designed a course that was in Tiger Woods' last video game on the PS3, for anyone that cares about that, named Shihan, in China. And I think a World Golf Classic was there. He or his firm worked on Waiʻalae. He has a funny golf club atlas. Yeah, it's Golf Club Atlas. I'm looking at the right thing. Interview in which he kind of has like these hot takes. He gives you a lot of hot takes on things. They ask about Rainier. He's like, yeah, I like Rainier. Do you like template holes? Yeah, no, that limits my creativity. Kind of a funny take. You like this guy? And very politically correct. But I found this interesting interview revealing, because I played this course and I was like, man, this guy is really, really mean. Like, I played it and the course was so unforgiving. Well, there's a reason for that. The reason is the original owner, or the owners, or whoever was involved that commissioned him, wanted him to make the hardest golf course. And the idea, it seems, was from a business standpoint, you make the hardest golf course, that will create destination golf, where some of the best golfers in the world will want to go to this course to challenge themselves against this really, really difficult course. From this interview, it appears, or at least through my reading comprehension, which might not be the best, that the course was actually routed prior to the golf architect coming into the project. So he came in with basically a routing that was set for him, and it sounded like basically the project was an extremely back and forth tug of war between his vision and the owner's vision of a golf course, which inevitably led to kind of this course that people said was really, really hard, one of which being the green speed. So when I played this, I wasn't really a fan of the greens, and it was weird to me because the greens were kind of different than the rest of the course. And I was like, what's the reason for that? And when I read this article, it said that the greens were set to play at about 8 to 10 on the stent meter. It's kind of slow. The reasoning for that is there's a lot of contours, and people were four-putting and just having not very much fun. The greens have elements of Pinehurst number 2. And when I played this course, often you'll get the same hole locations, probably for a week or so. They have some stock pin locations, and the pin locations that are the stock ones are right on the edge of some slopes. So you're going to get some, if the greens played faster, I could see it being just very, very frustrating to many of the golfers that go there, because that's the conundrum of this course. I think the vision was to bring in the greatest golfers ever and have them tell their buddies and vacation up in the Sierra foothills, and it would be like an Edgewood or an old Greenwood. And instead, I think you get a senior crowd who really likes to be away from people, who are playing this course that's really nice but really hard, and they tell all their friends, dude, this course is really hard, but I really like it because it's so beautiful and it's fun. And because of that, I think that the greens run a lot slower than I'm used to, which is, both good and bad. I'm a little privileged. So greens aren't my favorite. Course design is unique. We're going to get into that as well. But before we get into that, check out this live on-camera footage of how fast the golf carts go and a little tip on the golf carts and how vast the property is. Here's a little POV action. These carts book it. Carts here are crazy fast. Like, you're just cruising around. Big gaps between holes, so you're like going a half mile. Issue me a citation here, but go across this street, across the gravel. Oh my God, there's a turn. Hit the brake, but these carts go fast. Oh my goodness, we're going. So now let's go into the actual golf course footage, and I'm going to talk you through some of the shots and explain to you kind of what you will be experiencing when you play this course. So let's go into that, and I've timestamped this. So if you're not going to watch the pre-stuff, just jump into the golf course stuff, and I'll try my best to kind of explain what you will experience. So this is hole number 2. It exemplifies what you need to do here. Great driving. This fairway runs into this gully after about 270 yards from like the tees in front of the tips. And then you have a downhill shot to a well-protected green. Whoa! And that's how big of a drop it is. Completely blind on your tee shot. Now the 4th hole, this is the hole that I think is like really, really a money hole. Look at that. Trying to change my swing. Look at these stud. Barely get it going. Really, anything left and right is death. This course is legendary for if you miss the fairway, you're going to lose your golf ball. Somehow golf balls disappear. That's a huge mountain. I think the Golf Fanatics also spoke to that about how there's like a huge mountain here. Not the longest drive, but I'm not the greatest player. Look at that finesse wedge, looking like I'm a character in a video game. Good shirt, too. Basically, you can take driver, be aggressive, do that. Look, there's a beautiful house that I saw when I was filming this. You can hear water going down there, and then look, that's the green. The green also has that turtle back feature where it goes to the back. This is the 5th hole. Pretty challenging hole. 6 is like one of the hardest holes on the course, and I absolutely played it tremendous from the tips on this day, so I felt like a stud. The ball does not roll that much here, or at least it didn't when I was there. My drive flew like 235 and like spun back because it was that wet. So this is a dogleg left at about 250 from the tips, 235 from the regulars. If you hit a draw, you're going to go into a gully. You'll see in a second. I hit a hybrid and crushed it. You can kind of see that gully. Not the best filming. I made that birdie putt, but I totally didn't think I would make it, so I didn't film it. But that was a really good feeling. That's a very challenging hole. That's basically a par 5 that's called a par 4. Some holes coming at you. Not really sure what that was. That was probably the par 5 that I always double bogeyed. 10 is really awesome because it has probably the most scenic late outside of hole 8, which I didn't film for some super vlogging purposes. I don't know why, but this is probably like you get to this hole, you can totally drive it into the water, maybe take a 3-wood. In theory, there's elevation gain up here, but really the ball doesn't run out for me at all. Could be how I'm trying to swing the club. I love this hole, hole 12. It's basically you just hit over this big cavern, big side of the mountain, and then you just have a wedge. That's what you're hitting through. That is awesome. That's like an adult version of Northwood right there. And then you have a punch bowl green. I love a good punch bowl, and I got filthy with this shot. Just a little baby pitching wedge in there. Nice number. And if you don't like side hill lies, you're going to hate this course. Look at that. I almost dunked it. And if you get above the hole, good luck, bro. I have no clue what I was attempting to film right there, but this is one of the holes coming down the mountain on the backside. I think this is 14. It's really long downhill shot. Gives me vibes of Franklin Canyon. It just looked cool, so I include it in the vibe. This is my favorite hole on the course, hole 15, like a true YouTube stud. I took it all the way from the tips, which is basically the same as playing from the blue tees or whatever the one in front of the tips is. It's just a really, really crazy angle. From the one in front of the tips angle, you basically can hit a cut. From this side, if you hit a cut, you're going to be kind of bummed out because you want to really hit a draw. There's like this high grass that if you hit into it, good luck finding your ball. And if you go right, you basically die. Just a really, really cool tee shot. Best tee shot on the course. Probably most fun of the course. And the way the course ends, it's kind of like really, really mean the way it ends. So this is a hole 16. It's just like a really long, stupid par 4. Makes no sense. It's like really long. It's not really that fun. Every time I hit my ball into those trees to the right, and then I just lost it. Probably going to be sad when you play it, but maybe you'll love it. 17, mid-level par 3, mid-length par 3. You're hitting over this huge gully of death. There's a bunker for the bailout that I always hit into. 18, pretty cool hole. There's 2 different ways you can play it. You can go to that bunker to the far right, or you can go big dog like me and go over the bunker. I went over the bunker like the young stud that I am. But then the trouble, this is a dragon special. So you die if you go right. You hit in a bunker, you can die. If you go too far left, you'll lose your ball. Just trouble everywhere. 2 good shots. And what does that reward you here? Oh, just a really, really hard approach shot. That is the dragon. So I hit a good shot in here. But this is a mentally taxing course that I actually have grown to love. Okay, this is my new format for the vlog. Hopefully it's like more interesting than just seeing me play really average golf. Like I'd imagine that at some point that gets tiresome because it's kind of boring for me just to do that. I think that we got to progress as YouTube content creators. So let me know in the comments how you like this. And let me know if you've even heard of this place. I heard about it originally through the Golf Fanatics YouTube channel. Really nice guys. And, well, count me in. Grizzly Ranch, White Hawk, all those, they have to wait. Because we were about prioritizing saving money. I've got a couple more trips for the end of the year. And yeah, so really appreciate all the support. Trying to get back into making golf stuff, but also there's a lot of people making stuff. So I'm trying to make things that are more interesting, not a pity project, actually fascinating stuff that help you enjoy going out and playing golf on the weekend with the limited amount of free time you have. It's Lukie. I'm back. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let's get interactive.